Hello friends, welcome back. So I'm pressing command // to get rid of that file structure. We now are looking at about blocks. So I'm going to copy that and I'm going to say open about blocks. About blocks will pop over here and I can close my about iterations because I'm not doing that one anymore. And so here we go. About blocks. Method with block. So this is a method with a block. We're looking for line 11 now to continue on in our test-driven development. As you can see, we're more than halfway through at this point, 60% through. So 170 out of 282. So we're going to just keep moving up. Test methods can take blocks. So here we have a method with block, and we have method with block, and we're just passing in this is a method here, and then the block is here. And so if we pass in 1 plus 2 into here, we get the yielded results. So the result is equal to yield. Geez, I don't even know. So I'm just going to copy this. This is actually cool. I'm not really sharp on this stuff. So we've got method with block here. Method with block. Method with block. Local jump, no block given to yield. Huh. Okay, so because we're not in a class, we can't yield here. So I'm guessing what's happening here is that it's passing something else. It's going to result is equal to yield. Geez, yielded result. We want it to equal to 3. So 1 plus 2. The result is equal to yield. Okay, so yield must pass in, say, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do whatever was called here. So if you pass in a block like this, then the result becomes yield, and then the result's printed out. And so therefore, 1 plus 2 is what happens from yield because we're passing the block here. So this becomes, 1 plus 2. And then because the result becomes equal to 3, then the result returns as 3. So here we can put 3. Test blocks can be defined with a do end loop too. So here you can say method with block, do 1 plus 2, end. So yeah, that just shows you that it can do the same thing. So we'll just put 3 here. So this is another, I've never seen this, but I do see this often. So it's cool to actually learn that you can do it the other way. Method with block arguments. So here we have yield gym. Test blocks can take arguments. Method with block arguments. We want to do, and then we say our argument is equal to yield gym. And so it looks like method with block arguments do argument. And so that must mean that its argument becomes equal to gym, and so argument's equal to gym here. Cool. I haven't seen that much, or if I have, I didn't recognize that this is how it worked. The yield keyword actually throws me off, so I'm really learning here. So let's say, let's go back down here and rake, make sure we haven't made any strange mistakes, and see how that one goes. All right, so fill me in, peanut butter. Okay, now we're on blocks, line 43. So let's scroll down here a little. 43. Okay, cool. Many yields. Yield peanut butter, jelly, all this stuff. Test methods can call yield many times. Many yields. Item is equal to result. Push in the item. So yeah, I'm guessing, okay, many yields. And then we're passing a block. And so as many yields as there are, they're going to be injected in. And so I guess we initialize this variable here, and then we pass in each item. Crazy. Okay, so that's peanut, butter, and jelly. So I think it'll look like this. Well, actually, I kind of know because it gave me an array. That's, but yeah, 173. Okay. So now we're on line 57, which means we successfully passed this one. Okay, so now we have a yield tester. If block given, yield. So, or we can just say no block. Okay, that's pretty interesting. So test methods can see if they have been called with a block. So yield tester, this one, it hands in a block. So it looks like it's just going to return with block. And the yield tester is the thing, so that's useful. We can just call this one no block. because here there's no block being passed in, but here there is. So I'm going to save that, and we'll run our array command. And you're good. Okay, so we're on to the next one, line 66. Here's line 66. We can move forward. This one has been passed. Okay, so here we go. Test block can affect variables in the code where they are created. So value is equal to initial value. Method with block. Method with block. Method with block arguments. Method with block. So here, this is the method with block. So it just returns the result. So here it says our method with block, where the value is equal to modified in block. Yeah, well, method with block is going to yield to whatever the return one is. And so here we're setting the value equal to the modified in block. So it's just showing us that we can modify them in the block. So we're going to call this one modified in a block. And yes, I know the answer is right here, and I'm usually not looking at those until I kind of think my way through it. So I hope you guys are finding this useful. Yeah, test blocks can be assigned to variables and called explicitly. So add one, you can just set it to a lambda. So I guess lambda just means you're setting a block. And so, assert equal add one dot call. I think dot call is a specific Ruby function, which means do this function. So you call 10, looks like n is being passed in, so the result ends up with 10 plus 1. And so I think we get 11 here. And then instead of doing it that way, oh wow, look, you can do add 1. When you have it as a lambda, you can just pass it in with a single array value. And so I think that's going to be 11 as well. So let's run that and see how it goes. Looks like we're on line 80. So 80. So it looks like we're past that one. So test standalone blocks can be passed to methods expecting blocks. So, wow, this is getting meta. Lambda upcase. Okay, so make upper. We're at making that a block called, which will upcase every element being passed in. So method with block arguments. Well, there's our method with block arguments. Method with block arguments. Okay, it's just yielding gem. So if we come back down here, we make upper. Well, it's going to go through and it's just going to pass the gem string to our lambda one. And because, so JIM, it's going to go through here, JIM, and just make it so that it's like this, I believe. Gem. And you can tell it's going to be right based on here. So now we can rake the task, and we'll see we've moved on to line 90. 90, cool. So here they said block with method with explicit block. So here they're actually defining the block in here. They're saying block.call 10. Okay. And so assert methods can take an explicit block argument. So this is a method with an explicit block argument. And we want to say method with explicit block. So it's calling this one, and it's passing in the block. And so block.call 10. So n will become 10, so n times 2 is going to be, I think, 20. And then here we have an add 1, which is a block as well. It's the same one that we saw up here. And so method with explicit block. Method with explicit block, and we're passing in this block. So it looks like it's going to be call 10. So we're calling 10, so n will become 10, and 10 plus 1 is 11. Cool. Save that and run it. And it looks like we're about sandwich code, which is another new one. So we have completed about blocks. This is some pretty interesting stuff, but this is actually used all the time in Ruby, and this kind of stuff, I actually really am glad that I just went over this, because this reinforced my knowledge. So one of the cool things about koans is you can always come back to it, and it'll show you some more things that you didn't know about Ruby. So it's a reusable program. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this one. We'll see you in the next lesson.